Yeah, 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 yeah. Juice it. Previously on Kimba TV. So you've got VWAP, you've got a low probability swing fail, and you've got this, and you've got coming down to these levels. Somewhat bullish as long as you can hold it. Too easy, motherfuckers. Juice. Mo says all-time high today. I don't know about all-time high today, but we're coming up on first single print. We're pixel fucking gap fill, but not mine. And you got another baby gap from yesterday. Yeah. So this could be a nice little long if somebody is looking for. I don't even know if that's possible now, but you might have to take the POC and the box. But yeah, all-time high, baby. Sooner or later. Meander MNK says, hi, I'm currently in a short position and looking for opportunity to average in. What do you think I should wait for? Well, the first thing you should do is go back and watch the highlights from yesterday, because as we always do, all right, try to go back and pay attention to what I said about this, what I said about this, and what I said about this. Yeah, I have pixel perfect top as well, but what we're really gonna, I don't know if you rewound it and got caught up, but what we're gonna be looking for is the gap. All right, Meander. So, yeah, like the only time that I'm taking hedge shorts is when I don't want to TP my longs. Yeah, so just be careful. I mean, everything is bullish. So the next, I don't even know, you're probably not going to be able to get a settlement or a value area high retest. You might have to settle for the point of control. The best one would be to like come down here, maybe even keep that going. Yeah, but you're gonna be aiming for here, and you're gonna be aiming for here, and then yeah, like for bears, since you're in a short, what you need to actually do is get below settlement. So you have a long way to go. Yeah, just because there's a chance to maybe get this long, you definitely do not want to be shorting. Make sure you put your stop loss at break even. Okay, because losing money trying to short would be retarded. So, alrighty, Meander. Yeah, maybe they go test the RTH gap. But yeah, best case scenario, you get the RTH gap on a short. But just make sure that you don't lose any money shorting. Roger that. Bargy says, are you going to TP short at lower levels? RG Bargy, I have not TP'd anything on any of my shorts for the last 8 months. Yeah, the shorts are to purely get round tripped, because if I have a really nice short, so I did like 120 Bitcoin long, like around here. And the only reason why I can do stuff like that is because I still have the short running. So if I lose money on this long attempt, it's basically like I didn't make any money on that short from here to here. Yeah, I'm bullish, RG Bargy, and I'm using the shorts so that I can swing for home runs on my longs and be really aggressive taking long entries, because I have the short unrealized profits that I can risk. Yeah, so for like the last 8 months, none of my shorts I've TP'd. I've just used them to allow myself to hold on to every single long and be aggressive taking. Like, it's easy for me to take the 98.5 long, and try to get in for, 88 or 85 Bitcoin or whatever we got filled for, and then take another shot at 100, and, because I have the 108 short. Yeah, so I don't want to lose that edge to be aggressively taking longs, you know? If I didn't have that 108 short and every single long attempt was going to be a free roll essentially for me, I might have missed the 98.5. You know, like pussyfooting. But if I'm wrong on, like I could take a long, well, I mean, I can't take a long attempt right now because I don't have the 108 short anymore. But if I had like a 111 short, I could try a long right here. And I would say, fuck it. You know, if I'm wrong, then the movement from here to here, I just didn't make any money. I have to remember that on the unrealized profits on the short. Yeah, so I think it always starts with having a higher time frame bias, you know? And you've been here long enough to know that I've been saying I'm bullish on 2025, right? So, and then really the only reason why am I like shorting RG Bargy on that point of control? Because we talked about this, remember? And do you remember the fractal that we put on? This is possible. So first things first, it's level to level. The next level of interest for the bulls to hold would be the gap, the RTH gap. It's not bullish until that gets grabbed. Okay, so everybody's going to be looking to try and long this gap. RG Bargy, this will be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Now, once you start to lose this, okay, and this trend line, then we can say, okay, maybe we shouldn't be looking at spot or spots for longs. And then we would go back to the fractal that we did yesterday, and we would think, all right, but what do you think about like identifying the levels, man? And then once we got there, we don't just like blindly short, right? Like we wait for structure, we wait for edge. So, I mean, I think that's, you know, that's a pixel perfect failed auction, and we played it as such, did we not? Maybe there's a bearish retest. And then if it does go back up there and gets rejected, making a lower low would basically confirm. And then if that's the case, if it does this and it makes the lower low, then the probability of the gap fill and go gets a little bit less. Okay, because that's basically value area high, right? So you're basically kind of signaling, can't go. And then you're going to be looking for this side, maybe here. But if it just goes right now, instead of doing a bearish retest on the failed auction, you might have a chance for the dink, dink. All right, y'all good? Y'all better quit playing with me, players. Let's go, Lions. Y'all ready to juice? We do this shit live, man. It's got to be testnet, man. Everybody juicing, right? Everybody juice. To me. Make sure you rewind if you showed up late. Any questions? Everybody locked in? Everybody caught up? Everybody good to go? We got GDP tomorrow. And for GDP tomorrow, let's get it. Generational juice. What a mathematical day today. You guys doing all right? These hoes, am I right? Golly. Schwiggity schwaggity. Baratinha says, morning was crazy. Just got here. Gonna rewind real quick on 2x. Sounds good, brother. I did the same exact thing that we always do, Baratinha. Yeah, so tell me what we're in, what phase we're in right now. Like if you're a bull, what do you need to see? If you're a bear, what do you need to see? So go ahead and get caught up, Baratinha. You're going to notice that we did the same exact thing we always do. On top of that, somebody was like, are you going to short here? And I said, no. If I was going to short, I would do XYZ. And we did XYZ, Bugatti. Yeah, so pixel perfect. So let me know where you think what phase we're in. Obviously, you don't really want to short unless you want to hedge short because you don't want to TP any of your longs. But We identify 3 levels where you might be able to get back into a long, Baratinha. News flash, they haven't changed since last night. Hit him with a yeah. Quit playing with me, man. Baratinha says, Kimba, so pretty much the only change from last night is the possibility of a long on the POC. Yeah, I mean, I think you're just continuously looking for longs. So this is what you would do, Baratinha. I have a trigger that would tell me, hey, maybe we shouldn't long anymore. Okay, do you have that or not? So I already have a trigger where I would go, we shouldn't look for longs anymore. And that would basically be that upward trending support line, that orange line. This. Yeah, so nothing has changed. Remember like the fractal stuff that we did? I mean, look at this. Remember all of this? Yeah, so just same thing. You know, if you don't want to shave or TP your long, I think getting into a hedge short is good. Obviously, you don't want to lose any money shorting, so make sure that you put your stop loss at break even. And I think you want to be aggressive with every pullback, especially if the structure hasn't changed. So yeah, that's it. If you get a chance, you know, I think a gap long would be nice. But other than that, our next level of interest is the single print up there. And useless lines, useless boxes. It doesn't even want to get into the box. So yeah, nothing has changed. If you can get lucky and get a gap fill long, I think that would be a nice scalp long. If that doesn't work, then the point of control and the stuff like that will come. So I think something like this, brother. Somewhere here could be interesting for a long. Yeah, but that's if like failed auction plays, this dink 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 dink. So if this 30-minute candle closes above, you're going to be watching the golden pocket right there. 12 more minutes. Let's go. And we still have 3 hours until U.S. market close. So I think Jerome Powell is still talking, dude. Thank God we're not watching that shit. I think Jerome Powell is still talking. Atmo says, about the mental part, Kim, but how do often you keep yourself accountable and away from trying to overtrade and run trade? If you know that you're not supposed to do it, it's just a matter of discipline and self-accountability to not do something you're not supposed to do. I think your life experience and event, like ultimately, like, you know, what kind of adult you are, I think. I don't think that's isolated to trading. Yeah, consistency and excellence is something that you either got or you don't by like 18, 19 probably. Yeah, I mean, the hacks that I will use is my dopamine feedback loop where I feel like I outcompeted somebody is when I feel like I was able to do the right thing. So I'm never looking at, am I long or am I short? Is somebody else long? Is somebody else short? Who made more money? Am I in profits? Am I in the red? That's not what I take pride in. What I take pride in is in being able to do the right thing every single time. So stop loss and profit, be patient, wait until it comes to my level, only take trades if I have edge. You know, don't let anybody else contaminate what my plan and preparation is, right? If I don't know about which way it should go, I don't take a trade. You know what I mean? Like just being honest and, you know, never devolving into like a degenerate gambler, basically. Yeah, you either enjoy the mathematical analysis or you enjoy making money. And if money is the reason why you're here, you're always going to get outcompeted and outworked, you know? So I think that's the way that I look at it is I love the idea that maybe 90% of the people wouldn't have been able to put stop loss at break even, but I was able to, you know? And I take pride in that, and that's the dopamine feedback loop. Santa, let's go, Baratinha, let's get it, let's get it. Santa says, I'm learning so much about myself while learning to do the right thing. That's eye-opening. Let's go. Math is math and juice is juice. Yeah. But trading is always gonna tax the people that have like defects, you know? If you're not disciplined in a competitive way, like, you know, top 10%, top 15% discipline level, you're gonna get taxed. I mean, there's really only 6 to 7% of retail traders that are profitable. So even if you're in the top 10% in terms of discipline, right? Like, that's not good enough. Even if you're in the top 10% of like emotional composure, that might not be good enough. So you're constantly striving to be in the top percentile, right? Like if your math skills or your TA skills are like, you know, average, there's no way you have a shot. You know, if your emotional composure is average, there's no way. You know, it's like trying to be in the Olympics when like your athletic skills are average. Like there's just no way. Like how do you plan on competing when somebody else clearly is going to be better than you? I think you also have to be a pretty competitive person. You got to embrace you got to love like beating somebody. Yeah. So I think that's it. You like take pride in, out competing and outworking. So I don't want anybody like getting lost in the small time frame talking about, do we short? Is it too late to long? Well, first off, don't be asking about, is it too late to long? But everybody's still locked in. I mean, these are the moments, especially on these pullbacks, when we really find out if you really were bullshitting or if you really were talking the truth about you really want to get into a long. And this is why I said, are you just saying that because I'm saying that? Or do you understand that you're in fucking value right now and longing point of control or value area low? There's nothing wrong with that. Assuming that you actually have edge to long it. You can't just long it because it's point of control or value area low, or that it just lines up with Fibonacci or whatever. You still need to have like those nice hidden bull divs, the VWAP. So I feel like if you fucked up the 98.5, I don't know, man. You really got to be locked in for the 102 and the 104 opportunity, and you might even only get the 106, the RTH gap. 19 Turbo says, what about for the bong hit? You want to long it for the bong hit? That was not a good, we used to play that game where every time you guys showed me a screenshot of a long, I had to take a bong hit. Because you guys would just market smash, enter a long, and then close it. How many people have been rocking and rolling with me from start to finish, morning and night, the last couple days? And maybe you got lost in the sauce in the higher time frame a little, on the smaller time frame a little bit. But when I pull back on this bitch on the 6 hour and we look at this and we reflect back on everything that we've been talking about for the last 2 days, you kind of feel stupid for getting so like riled up. I mean, it hasn't done nothing that we haven't talked about, ladies and gentlemen. You know? If you're doing some high leverage, put my stop loss at break even, I'm doing derivative trading, of course, you can get bing bong ding donged. But all it did was it just went to value area high. It just went to value area high. You could argue on smaller, medium, and higher time frames if you should or should not short. We could do that all day. I think the easier thing to do is you can take a short, but be absolutely prepared for something like an RTH gap fill or a point of control bullish retest or an S&P correlated drop. GDP tomorrow, PCE on Friday. Billions of options expiring for monthly close on Friday as well. Are you guys ready? How many are there any lions that are like, dude, I can't believe, even though you were talking about it, I can't believe that I didn't take a long from 104 or 105. I know you said that it doesn't matter if we are going to be going to all-time highs, but holy fuck. And then I'll be back, and then I won't stick around too late because we need to go to bed early so we can wake up early for GDP. Jonathan, what's going on, Jonathan? Missed most of the stream. What levels are we looking to hold or bounce from? That's a great question. I would say the RTH gap is the most sort of like prevalent area where you could get, you know, I wouldn't be afraid of longing all the way to the Bugatti dealership, basically. You know, let's clean all of this because I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's like RTH is allergic to that thing. RTH is already closed. So obviously doing that tomorrow would be better. I would be okay with an ETH fill, but then it's going to have a gap, which means we want a bullish gap play against a bearish gap. So if that doesn't make sense, you can either ask PSG or I'll be back in about 3 hours and I can explain that again. But if you go all the way down there, you need to understand that RTH is going to have a bearish gap. Okay, so you need a bullish against a bearish gap. So that would look like. What is Paul asking? Okay, stop for a second. Paul says, Kimba, how do you applicated the difference of the price from CME? Sure. I mean, the simplest thing would be like, oh, the CME is trading at a premium for $800. So I'm going to take $800 off of derivatives, right? So you could always compare and contrast how much the CME, the Coinbase spot, is it trading at a discount or premium? That would be the simplest way to go about it, Paul. Obviously, when we look at CME levels, it's not just one random level, right? It's confluence. And a lot of times, like for example, the CME single prints, they're going to line up fairly similar to how Binance single prints are going to line up, Paul. So if you're looking at a 7.5 pullback with VWAP and single print on CME, chances are most of those things will line up on your derivatives as well. All right, so I hope that helped. Curvies, it's my pleasure, man. I'll be back in about 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 4 hours. It just kind of depends. But obviously, if this is down at like 106, 105, I'll poke my head in. Maybe there's a scalp long. The thing that sucks about that RTH gap is it has to be done during RTH. So even if it does it tonight, it's not meaningful. And then that'll be confusing as fuck too if it opens, like if it hopscotches over to the other side and opens underneath tomorrow. That would be fucked too. You know what I would think if it did that? Then I would just take the initial move as a debate and take a long here. Like if this hopscotches over the pond again and this bitch somehow we open RTH here and it's below the thing again, then I would be like GDP debate, bap, and then go. All right, hopefully it just keeps doing its thing, and worst case scenario is like a partial gap fill. That would be as low as we would probably want to go, especially with tomorrow's with the settlement already being near the box. Yeah, and then target to the upside is that 109.5, 109.5, 85 single print or something like that. We know that 110 is the next gap, so above that would open the floodgates for all-time high. Zerp, are you gonna be here when I get back in a couple hours? What about you, Silver Wolf? Wrong person. Daipopi, J-Knock, Shadow, Blaze, Ayo Gains, Kirito Yagi, JJ, let's go. Well, let's do the damn thing, Zerp. It's a bad high, you could get an SFP. Actually, cleaning this is valid too.
Just another step ahead. How do I say goodbye when it feels so
oh my god, that's probably actually really good. Keep an eye on your levels to the upside, levels to the downside. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. In 120 seconds, CME is going to pause. S&P futures, NASDAQ futures, all that shit is going to pause. It's going to be just Bitcoin or crypto. Excuse me. So love you guys, man. I'll be back in about 2-3 hours. I'm going to just go work out, eat super quick, hang out with baby girl, and I'll be back, and we'll do last minute nerd out for GDP. But if that 106 comes before, do that thing, especially if there's a hidden bull div. I don't know if there's a long with Macaulay, but yeah, at least if CME ETH comes back and it helps you, might be nice. So stay safe. I'll see you guys in about 2 to 3 hours. Kachoya!